Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Danica, and today I'm coming in finally to start with Love Off the Grid. You're probably, my hope is to get the 2 episodes to you, somehow based on the schedule. We'll see how that goes. I can't really remember, but we'll see kind of how that goes. But anyways, I'm getting the first episode out to you. Thank you for your patience. So let's get into Love Off the Grid episode 1. We are in Center, Alabama, everybody. We are right back where we need to be, having this returning couple back with us. And that's Myesha and Joe. Remember them from the first season. We got a whole house now. This is different. We didn't have a house before. We have a whole house now. As we know, they are looking for a third for, I think it's for both of them. But they're looking for a third. He still has a huge dick, according to her, y'all. Huge. Massive. Just, yeah. And it appears that different this time around than the first season, that they have potentially found someone that can join them, and her name is Lauren. Myesha calls her Farrah Fawcett because I guess she thinks she looks like Farrah Fawcett. Just because my girl is blonde and white does not mean she looks like Farrah Fawcett, because she doesn't. So anyway, Lauren likes the idea of homesteading because she likes to garden and grow her own veggies. And I said, you can do that in the city too. I don't know if this girl really is fully prepared for actually homesteading, especially in the way that they want to. More on that later. Lauren is coming by to check out the property. And this is interesting. I don't know if anyone's ever heard this term before. Pretty as a prayer book. What does that even mean? He said another thing that made sense, but then he said pretty as a prayer book, and I'm like, are prayer books pretty? I don't know. That was interesting. Anyway, he's gonna make a little pallet for her to sleep on the couch because she doesn't want to take things slow. She doesn't want to sleep with them in the bed. I think that's understandable. So he's gonna, make a little thing for her on the couch, and that'll be where she sleeps. We'll be back with them in the next episode, episode 2, to see how that turned out. Let's move on to the next couple we have. We are in Scotland County, Missouri, with Arune. She's 38 years old. She has a naked wall. She likes to be naked. She likes to be in the nude. She likes to worship with the female body. Which is fine. All fine. It was the naked wall. But she says she's an hour away from the nearest town so far. She was born in Lithuania. I'm fine. So she's European, so you can kind of hear the accent a little bit. But yeah, she's not from the States. We then hear more about her guy, her person, and his name is Samuel. He's 29, so there is an age gap. He lives in Florida. He says he likes the city life. He prefers the city life, and totally get it. We learn how they met. They met when he was actually on her property building a tree house. And y'all, one thing led to another, and they're banging. She said the sex was like a freight train, and I'm like, I understand. Trust me. I don't know if she literally means like it was just rough or it was like just I don't know anymore. But anyways, she does mention though that towards the end of him building this tree house, she could tell that he kind of wasn't into it anymore, and everything kind of just came crashing down for them, and he ended up leaving. More on that later. We also learned that he got a tick while there, which isn't great. I'm not laughing really, but yeah, he got a tick, which obviously freaked him out because Lyme disease. And yeah, I think just with all of that, like he just kind of couldn't take it. And she says that she really does want to have another baby. Well, I'm kind of going ahead of here. She doesn't want to have kids. She does say, though, she did get pregnant with his baby. More on that later. So now we are with another returning couple, and that is with Jenn and Charlie. We are back at Black Mountain in North Carolina. So the issue seems to be for them now is that she tends to go back and forth between the mountain and Florida. She does say she loves the mountain now, so she's gotten used to it. And we do kind of find out maybe, obviously, with the reason she goes back and forth is because of her kids. She has 4 boys. I totally she forgot she had that many boys for them. And she wants actually for them to come up to the mountain to kind of experience it. Maybe hopefully they'll like it. Um, so he asks her, what if they hate it? Which obviously he loves the mountain. He doesn't want anyone to hate it. Um, and she says, well, her heart will be split. And she's like, I can't choose you over them. Like, this is not going to happen. And she does wonder, and she says this to him out loud. She has wondered if I might have to walk away. So guess we'll see kind of how that goes. So we have Jeremy here, who is his double first cousin. Yo, what is a double first cousin? What is that? You know what? We're gonna figure that out. I'm gonna Google and find out what a double cousin is because I have never heard the term. So according to AI, a double first cousin are relatives who are cousins through both parents and share both sets of grandparents. Wow. We'll go a little further here because this is interesting. Double first cousins are twice as related as regular first cousins and share another 25% of their DNA, which is similar to the amount shared by half siblings. They're also known as cousins on both sides. Double first cousins occur when two siblings from one family marry two siblings from another family and have children. They can be more okay, I see. They can be more common in small towns, no shit, or areas, or in endogamous populations. The children of double first cousins are called double second cousins. This is some small town shit. Okay. So, anyway, basically, they just kind of talk about her kids experiencing the mountain for what it is wholeheartedly, and that's kind of what his goal is. So then he tells her, listen, I first of all, there's no room for them anyways in the cabin, but he wants them to sleep in tents. And she's like, I kind of want to do RVs. She knows her kids. She knows that maybe an RV would be a better situation. And not only that, she also says the bears, the bears are the bears. Um, and she just says she needs them to have, tenderness from them, sweet love and just tenderness. Okay. Um, you have to protect my kids. She is a mama bear through and through. So, yeah. So we are in, with the last couple of this episode, we are in Carson, New Mexico with Ryan, who's 45 years old. He was in the military, in the reserves, and he has currently not currently, he has survivor's guilt. And this was because I think he said that he had to do a mission or an assignment. He didn't end up doing it. Someone else ended up doing it in his place. And the vehicle or something around those lines, they blew up. And yeah, he has survivor's guilt. He said it was hard for him to adapt back into normal life, which I think is something you hear a lot from veterans. But living off the grid, he says, helped him. And he said that he's almost died due to cyclones, which is a thing apparently that I didn't know existed. But he says it's kind of like, I think he said it's kind of like a hurricane, the equivalent. So he passed me out. He said the snow cyclone actually knocked down the bathroom building that he had literally just built. Like, and I'm like, that pissed me off. But anyway, we meet about the person that he's met. Her name is Shayla, who is 24. Let me repeat, he's 45, she is 24. She is a metaphysical practitioner. Don't know what the fuck that is, but apparently she says it's basically astrology and tarot stuff. And I'm like, so you're Ashley from being from 90 Day Fiance. To say what it is, what the hell is metaphysical? Listen, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum, but what the hell? Anyways, whatever. Shyla's gonna be coming by that day, so we'll see how that goes. But that was the end of episode 1. Episode 2. So now we are with, so we're with Joe and Myesha. Lauren says she did not sleep well. She said the dog woke her up. So that didn't really, bode well for her. So what I notice about Lauren, and again, I'm like, okay, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into by living off the grid. You're homesteading here. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, I'm not saying she necessarily knows the situation of the property, what's built, what's not built, but do you not know they kind of only been doing this for a short time, that they're literally building from the ground up right now? Like, you must know this. But anyways, she does seem very much like a complainer to me. It's actually a little bit annoying. Because she's like, oh, she wants a mirror in the bathroom because, like, I want to be able to do my hair and do my makeup. I said, bitch, you're in Alabama. In the heat, there's no air conditioning. I feel like doing your hair is stupid because it's probably going to just fall flat. And doing your makeup is also very stupid because it's probably just going to melt off. This isn't for you. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, she's going to go and test out the outdoor shower, which is basically just a hose. But they're going to go do the outdoor shower while wearing a swimsuit. She feel a little better doing the swimsuit. I think Joe and Myesha usually just doing the nude. They're perfectly comfortable in their nakedness, and that's fine. Apparently, though, they don't shower every day, and I'm like, listen, I don't have anything against the homesteading, okay? I'm nothing against it. But I do believe we should be showering every day. And especially as women, I mean, I'm sorry, a man really should be cleaning his ass every day, okay? But especially as women, it's like you should be showering every day. Especially if you have a period, you should be showering every day. You're in the heat every day. No. Anyway, Lauren says that she likes to shower twice a day. Now, again, I shower twice a day if I have to leave my house and go to the office. Shower in the morning, shower when I come home. I would think if you're out there in the heat, yes, I would potentially want to shower every day. Not only that, if I can't shower every day, I would at least want to wash my parts, you know? It's like, so I hear that. But again, you are homesteading. And I don't know the situation with the water and how that works, if you have to pay for that or what the hell. But it's like you may not be able to shower twice a day, every day, you know? Anyway, then we see him washing his dick, and that's great. That makes me feel better. Because, you know, ass and dick. Men need to bathe at least their ass and their dick every day. Every day. Okay, so that's it for them. Let's move on to the next. We are in a new couple of episode 2. San Luis Valley with Jenn, who is 49. She said, you know what? The one day the moon told her this is where she was supposed to be. She was supposed to be homesteading. And I said, the moon told you. The moon. So, like, is it kind of like the moon in the big bear in the big blue house where she sings every time at the end of the episodes? Goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. You know what I mean? Is that how we do things with the moon? What do you mean the moon told you to do this? I don't know, man. It's weird. But anyways, she was removed. She has a little bit of a backstory, sad backstory. She was removed from her home, her family home, when she was 13 years old, due to, I think, her parents are doing drugs. And she went to live in a girl's home. So that was kind of her journey in her childhood. So I think a lot of the reason I think she homesteads is due to trauma. But anyways, I hope she gets the help she needs. She says that the winds in the area are brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. The winters are also very brutal. It can go below 40. I don't freaking think so. Mm-mm. She says that they almost gave up due to the winters because it gets that bad. And the winters in this area is literally a character in the storyline. She has been doing this now for 6 years. And now we kind of learn more about her person. And her name is Jolie. Like, I want to sing Jolene, Jolie, but it's Jolie, like Angelina Jolie. So she recently, recently she's been divorced. We learned that they met on TikTok, of all places. And it was just kind of, they had their date. She didn't smell like goat poop, which was a plus. And, one thing led to another. Apparently the sex is incredible, so that's great. And I'm like, they are adorable. They are adorable, the both of them together. They just seem adorable. I ship them. I hope they work. But yes, this is where Jolie says they are compatible in all ways. Every single way. And I said, God damn, Jolie, okay? Anyway, she's there now, so kind of skip past that a little bit. But in the next scene we see them in, basically we're learning something about chickens that I didn't know before. And I feel like I didn't need to know before. They're filling up this pail of with water, and it's, we don't want it too cold or too hot because we don't want to shock the chickens. And I'm like, okay, makes sense, but what's going on here? Apparently chickens can get a disease called pasty butt. And I said, the fuck is that? And what? So Jolie is the one who gets the joys of cleaning said pasty butt off of this one chicken, where basically you have to massage this crap out of the chicken's ass hence the pasty ass. It's like this white gunk that's literally in the chicken's ass. And Jolie is like, I was massaging people, like yesterday. And now I'm massaging pasty butt off of a chicken. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Why does that happen? Why does that need to happen? Anyways, pasty butt averted, and all's great. Moving on, that's it for them for this episode, for episode 2. With Charlie and Jenn now back on Black Mountain, and Charlie is cutting some trout. And he's like, we're going to leave the heads on because there's nothing better than watching, eating an animal that's looking back at you. And I said, cut the damn heads off. These boys are not used to looking at chicken heads or fish heads. I also wouldn't want to see a fish head, but I've at least seen a fish head attached to the fish. I don't know. This isn't it. Mm-mm. But anyway, Jenn and the boys are on their way. Listen, y'all, name your children whatever you want to name them. But these names, my God, let's go through them. We have Kieran, Justice, Maddox, and Tyrion. Okay. Someone needs to go to jail for naming their kids these names. What the hell? Justice, not great, but it's better. Maddox, it's fine. Maddox is okay. Tyrion? Kieran? What in the Lord? Moving on. The boys that show up on the mountain, everything seems to be, going okay right now. And he does show them the cabin and shows them, here's the bed. And you just look to your left and there's the bathroom. Listen, you know what? At least the bathroom's in the cabin, because as we've learned, sometimes the bathroom is not in the same place for which you live. Okay. Jenn then tells Charlie, these tents are really far from the cabin, so I would really like it if you'd sleep with the boys in the tent tonight, or maybe every night. Her boys were like, listen, Mom, we'll be fine. Like, he doesn't have to. Because their main thing is like, if a bear were to show up, like, they're not necessarily going to know how to deal with that. And one of the boys were like, well, can he just show us and then you guys can go? But she's like, nope, I am comfortable with them being out here by themselves, so I want you to stay with them. And Charlie says, okay, I will stay out here tonight and we'll revisit this tomorrow. And the one kid he ends up sleeping with in the tent, I don't know which one it was, but one of them that he ends up sleeping with in the tent, he's like, your feet smell really bad. It's really bad. Like, I've never smelled anything like this before. Whoa. I mean, that's bad. You need to check that out. Anyway, that's it for them for now. Then we're back with Arune. We don't shower, bitch. Why are people showering? Live off the grid. Do what you want. I don't care. Fucking shower. Get some soap. Get some water. Get some shampoo and some conditioner. Shower yourself. What is happening? Anyway, she explains that when she got pregnant with his child, she wanted it more than he did, which is a red flag for me. But unfortunately, trigger warning here for pregnancy loss. She did miscarry. But guess what, y'all? This is where we'll find out that she actually does have a daughter. She was previously married and she had her daughter. Her daughter's name is Gaia. She's 6 years old. And she says, she lives off the grid to kind of shield her daughter from the things that she doesn't want her to know about yet. And I said, okay, I totally get it. I totally understand that wanting to do that. But when are you going to open your child up to the things that maybe you don't want her to know? Like, when is that going to actually happen? Are you going to completely shield her? Is she going to be homeschooled? Like, what's the end game here? What's the goal? Um, but instead, I'm not a mother, but I think like for me, I totally get it. But at the same time, for me, I feel like I'm going to parent my child in such a way where I want to prepare them for the things in this world that suck, you know? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna shield them to that extent. She's 6 years old, so yes, I get it. Shielding her is maybe the best thing, but I want to prepare her. I want to prepare my children, you know? Um, I feel like there's more to this that she's not saying, like something that maybe happened traumatically in her life that lends her here, but I don't know. I wish we can get a little more about that. Anyway, um, but she wants another baby soon. She's 38. She probably feels she's running out of time. Um, and he wants to kind of pump the brakes on that. Probably get to know each other again, but she says she doesn't have much time left. And I said, I hear you. Um, I don't know. Anyway, so then we're going to the airport, and her friend is here with her to take this drive with her because she's not used to driving. So her friend's here. And this is where she has to say to us, yo, she's ovulating. And I'm like, girl, first of all, it's apparently been like 2 years since she's last seen him. He didn't seem to really handle the last pregnancy well. That he maybe didn't want it, or at least didn't want as much as you did. And you're talking about ovulating so what, you can get pregnant again and have to go through all of the same shit again with this guy? Like, have a little more self-respect, I guess, is where I want to go to. But anyways, but then the plane comes. It's a small little plane here, and it unloads, and he's not on the plane. He is not on the plane, y'all. And they're like, oh no. But that's the end of episode 2. Now we're into episode 3. Arune calls Samuel. We kind of leave back right with her. And he says, yeah, I couldn't get on the plane because my bag was too heavy and they wouldn't allow me to go onto the plane. And she says, well, did you fight them on it? Now, this is where she starts to get annoying for me. Because I'm like, wait, him fighting about letting him on the plane. Do you see the size of this plane? There's other people with their luggage. If the limit for each person's bag should be like 25 pounds and his is 50, that can make the whole plane come down. You know what I mean? So no, they're not going to make an exception for him because he has a ticket or some shit. Like, no, fighting isn't going to make a difference. But she says the reason, I guess, why she asked him this because he kind of tends to take the laid back approach, and then maybe that bothers her. Um, but he says, yeah, I did, but yeah, she's not buying it, like I said. And she says that his lack of fight is a red flag for her. And I said, what do you want him to do? Attack the pilot for not letting him on the plane? Like, what do you want from him? This is not the first time where I'm not going to be annoyed by her. It's going to happen again. Anyway, Arune goes to the airport again to pick him up this is now the next day. And guess what, guys? Now the flights are canceled. And I'm like, wow, the luck that these two, the universe is literally saying, bitch, no. Like, seriously. But again, she somehow makes this his fault that the flights were canceled. Like, he should have done something. What would you like him to do? Uncancel the planes? And you live in bumfuck nowhere, so there's no other airline that can fly to where she is. This is the only one that will. And they clearly have very strict guidelines of what they can do. And maybe there just wasn't enough people on this flight, so they canceled it. I mean, what do you want from him? He doesn't control that. She's annoying me. But he does say, you know what, though? I did get someone to drive me out there. So I'm already in the same state as you, like right now. So he's on the way. So now she says that she's willing to wipe the slate clean because she feels like he took the initiative to figure something out, which is, I hear that for sure. I think that's great. Um, but then we see him show up. He's here. They hug, but no kissing. And she's like, I'm not going to do it. Like, he should do it. Like, it's his job to do it. And I'm like, wait. As the man in your mind, because this is where I feel like you're taking it, is his job to make the first move? You talk about worshiping the female body, having a naked wall, wanting to, I guess, well, female empowerment and, whatever. But really, no, you're none of those things because listen, if I want to kiss you, whether you've made the first move or not, I'm fucking kissing you. I don't care about, you being the man and you should make the first move. No, no way. Like, if you're not, I will. So it's kind of what's in this episode for me where I'm like, okay, you're annoying. And I don't know, man, about this. I don't think it's gonna work. Mainly because of her. But we'll see. We then see they have like a tiny barn, which apparently very different than what she had previously when he was last there. And this is where they then kiss. And he's like moaning in the kiss, kind of like what's her face from Ukraine when he's like, yeah, that guy. What was his name? David, and what was her name? I don't remember her name. But anyways, that's basically it for them though in episode 3. Now we're back with Charlie and Jenn. It's the next morning after sleeping in the tents. The bathroom situation is a little bit of an issue. There's not obviously enough space, and obviously only one person at a time can use it. So Charlie says, I have a solution. And that solution is that all these woods are your bathroom. Oh God. He has a bucket for which he has cut the hole, like cut the bottom off. You're gonna dig holes and poop outside. Okay. No. Mm-mm. No. No. I'll wait. I'll hold it. It's fine. Like, maybe I would pee out in the woods, but pooping? I know. No. Mm-mm. But, he says then that he wants the boys to help with cutting down a tree. There's this guy named Mountain Mike who needs help cutting down a tree. So he kind of wants the boys to help with that. And he kind of wants them to use, or one of them anyways, to use like the chainsaw to actually cut the tree down, whereas the others will, break it apart, slice it up, or what's the terminology he used? It doesn't matter. And Jen's like, I don't feel comfortable with my kids using the chainsaw. I would feel better if you did, so that if you hurt yourself, you'll knock your own finger off. It's fine. But my boys, like, that's not gonna happen. But he's like, putting my foot down. I slept in the tent with him like you wanted me to, so let me have this. Trust me. I know what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna have them hurt themselves or anything. So let me do, trust me. So she says she's gonna trust them and let that happen. So The other thing, though, that happens in this conversation is that she mentions that one of her kids, I don't know which one it was now, but one of her kids are struggling with the fact that he's a little bit of a, I know it all, let me do it. Let me do it my way, and not actually communicating with them. And it kind of, knocking back ideas back and forth with each other. So it's time now to help Mountain Mike cut this tree down. We have safety glasses to protect the eyeballs of her kids. So it was Justice. So he pulls Justice aside to ask him, so it's all good. I'm hearing that maybe you're not fully happy about certain things. And he says, well, the tents are annoying, but, nothing can really be done about that. But I feel like we have no say in anything. He's like, communication would be good. This is what Justice is saying. And Charlie says, it doesn't mean that I don't want your input. It's just because I know how to do things, which is understandable. Now, maybe his communication style isn't the greatest, but I'm definitely trusting Mountain Man over here to know what the hell he's doing, because he's been doing it since he was a kid. You just showed up. So, yeah, I kind of hear what he's saying. Basically, maybe I should listen more. And Charlie asks, like, what would you want to do? Like, what would you want done to kind of help you with this experience? And Justice says, well, maybe we can do something about, blocking the weather. So Charlie says, okay, well then let's build a bunkhouse, and that would help with the elements. That's great. That's great. That's improvement. Anyway, that's it for them. Then we move on to Ryan and Shayla. And why am I saying the beginning of a porno in the beginning of their scene? I didn't ask for this. Anyway, clearly they have sex. Let's move on. He wants to do things for the community, helping veterans. He has a little community of people, which I'm all for. I'm all helping out the community and everything. But y'all, why does this feel like a cult? Why does this feel like the beginning of a cult? Why do I feel like he is like the Mansons, the Koreshes? What was his name? David Koresh? David Koresh? Why does he feel like a cult leader? I don't know, man. I get a very weird vibe from him. So, yeah. Anyway, Shayla is not about the hard labor. She does not want to be a hard laborer. She just wants to do her own thing and let him do his thing. She's not about it. And we see him after they kind of were doing what they were doing earlier, helping him, or he's doing something that he wanted her to help him with. And because she's saying like she doesn't really want to do this, he's like, fine, I'll do it myself. And he says, I want to work with her, but she doesn't quite see that. But she's 24. She doesn't want to do hard labor. She probably doesn't want to do much of anything. She's a metaphysical, whatever the hell, She doesn't have maybe at least what your ethic is. She doesn't have that. Anyway, that's basically it for them. Let's move on to the next. We're with Jenn and Jolie, and winter's coming. Winter's coming. It's a big deal. Winter's coming. And I'm like, Game of Thrones? Is that? Are the White Walkers coming? Like, seriously. Poor Jolie can't even open this bottle, though, because they're trying to mix some mud to add a layer of mud to the house that's going to help with, keeping the house insulated for when winter is coming. And yeah, so that's what they're going to be doing. So they need to create the mud. So we have water. Jenn hands her this bottle and says, can you fill it up? And Jolie can't open the goddamn bottle. She's like, help, I can't open this bottle. She's like, twist. And she's like, I've been twisted. I don't know how much more twisting I can do. It's not working. There is a friend of Jen's here who's here to kind of help with this. And when Jolie goes back over and says, I don't get it, her friend is like, oh, you have to push this piece down and then turn. Bitch, you couldn't have told her this? Jenn, she never would have figured this out. I would never have figured this out. And she just, she wouldn't, I'm sorry, she would have known that. I looked at the thing like, are you serious? And Jenn's kind of thing here is, oh, well, she needs to earn her own badges without me helping her because that's what I had to do. And again, I'm like, bitch, she never would have figured this out. Like, you need to help her. I'm sorry. No. It was also here where I'm like, that's, that's unreasonable. Really and truly. That's unreasonable. You could have at least just told her, by the way, you need to push that thing down before twisting or while twisting or whatever. Come on. Anyway, that's the end of that episode. The final episode that we're doing in this episode is episode 4. So Lauren left because she's like, listen, y'all not prepared for another person being in this house, so I'm gonna dip. So this is kind of when we started learning that Myesha kind of wanted to be the first of everything. She wanted to be the first wife, and she wants to be the first one to have baby with him. She said they have been trying for about a year with no luck, but she says she would be pissed off if he were to get someone else pregnant before her. And I said, that would also be me. I would also be pretty pissed. Anyways, we then see this next scene of them putting these ducks in the pond. It was so cute. But she tells him, listen, we need to see a fertility specialist, go to a fertility clinic to kind of figure out what's going on and why we're not getting pregnant. And I said, that's exactly what you guys need to do. So that, first of all, hey, did I say Alabama? Are they in Alabama or in Georgia? I don't remember now. Fayetteville is in Alabama, right? Not Fayetteville, Georgia. I don't even know anymore. Let's move on. And the next scene now, she says, listen, I have a sperm test. Let's get you to jerk it into this test. And he's like, okay, sure, let's do this. And she's like, you need help? He's like, I've been doing this since I was 13. I got it. And and she basically watches him do what she says I'm fine about. And she says, listen, the rule is, this is how I know, like, you never really truly have to worry, because I think, like, he's gonna respect her wholeheartedly and not crossing boundaries with anyone, because she literally says he cannot come in anyone without my permission. And I said, girl, that you, yeah, okay. Anyways, that's it for them in this episode. Next, Arune shows him the shower, y'all. The shower is basically just like this wood arch with the pond. That's it. So, Gaia, yeah. We learn here that her daughter, Gaia, I think is what it is, sleeps with her, co-sleeps. It's a big thing. And he's like, so how do we have sex then? Like, I kind of hoped and thought maybe she would have her own bed at least. And she does say that co-sleeping is very European, which I think co-sleeping even in American culture can happen. Or just, westernized, right? But she says she will always co-sleep with her kids as long as they want to. So this is never gonna change. He's not gonna win this. And he's not gonna be sleeping on the couch with the dog instead. So anyways, in the next scene with them, we see that they go shower. She's like, nothing is gonna hurt you. Oh, but except for the leeches. If you get a leash, just pull it off. But other than that, nothing else. Oh, but the snapping turtles. There are snapping turtles which could potentially snap off his dick and balls. But other than that, it's fine. That's it. Oh, but then there's snakes. If it's fine, it's fine. And I'm like, so you 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 go into this pond which does not look clean to shower, where you could potentially have a leech stuck on you, snapping turtles snapping off appendages, and snakes that could also, in Paul fashion, wiggle its way into things that no man wants. But it's fine. Okay. Anyway, she's gonna be going in with him, and we get naked, y'all, and I think they potentially had sex. That's another thing. This is something that y'all supposed to be using to potentially get clean, so let's have sex in it. Have him, what? Once he reaches climax, potentially come in the lake and dirty up the lake? I don't understand. Anyways, that's it for them in this episode. Next, it is day 2, y'all. Day 2 for Ryan and Shayla. And Shayla's already having a breakdown. She's like, all these people just keep knocking on the door. Like, I'm supposed to be working, okay? And like, people keep knocking on the door because they're looking for you. Like, I can't handle this. Like, I don't want people knocking on the door. And I'm like, Jesus, we're having a mental breakdown because people are, how dare you knock on the door? I hear what she's saying, there's no boundaries, but it's just like the day 2 of it all for me. It's like, geez, okay. So in the next scene with them, with really true Shayla, Shayla goes around to everyone on the property. I think there's 5 other people on the property. And she says, listen, listen, listen. I gotta work as my metaphysical, whatever the hell. And I need to work. So can you please refrain from knocking on our door between the hours of 10 p.m. and 11 a.m.? Great, thank you so much. Now, most people will seem to receive it well, except for one who's like, okay, yeah, sure, 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 you stupid idiot, yeah, sure, yeah. Um, which again, boundaries, fine, but that's like 12 hours. I mean, fuck. Anyway, it is what it is. I don't think this is gonna last. I don't think this girl really knows what she's gotten herself into. But anyways, that is it for this episode. That's covering episodes 1 to 4. So in the next episode for Love Off the Grid, we'll be doing episodes 5 to 8. That'll be the next one. Not sure when you're getting this versus when, you might be getting just this one or you might be getting 2. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realitytimes2, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.